Did you know the very first production helicopter ever used by the United States military looked like a flying mosquito on training wheels? It was called the Sikorsky R-4, and despite its awkward little frame, it changed warfare forever. Before the R-4 showed up in 1942, helicopters were mostly experimental toys that could barely get off the ground. But aviation pioneer Igor Sikorsky had other plans. He believed vertical lift aircraft could rescue people from tight spots, drop supplies in places planes couldn't land, and eventually reshape the battlefield. People thought he'd lost his mind. Turns out he was just decades ahead of everyone else. In January of 1943, the R-4 officially entered service with the United States Army Air Forces. It also ended up in the US Navy, the Coast Guard, and even in British hands under the name Hoverfly. And no, Hoverfly wasn't just the world's least intimidating superhero. Despite the funny name, this helicopter made history. Most of its combat work happened in the China-Burma-India theater, one of the most rugged environments of World War II. Imagine steep jungle mountains, brutal heat, and no friendly airfields for miles. Perfect conditions if you're a helicopter, and a nightmare for literally everyone else. The R-4 was slow, loud, and about as armored as a soda can, but it could hover, and that changed everything. One of its most legendary moments came on April 21, 1944, when Lieutenant Carter Harmon used an R-4 to rescue a downed pilot and 3 wounded British soldiers deep in Burma. Because the helicopter could only carry 1 passenger at a time, Harmon had to make multiple trips through hostile territory while the engine overheated and enemy forces closed in. It wasn't flashy, but it worked. It became the first successful combat helicopter rescue in history and paved the way for future medevacs. The R-4 also made headlines back home when Coast Guard Commander Frank Erickson flew plasma to survivors of the destroyer USS Turner after a deadly explosion. A raging storm grounded everything else, but the R-4 shook, rattled, and wobbled its way through hurricane-level winds to deliver life-saving supplies. Not bad for something most pilots were scared to sneeze near. Was it perfect? Absolutely not. It vibrated like a washing machine full of bricks. It barely carried any weight, and pilots had to develop nerves of steel just to land it. But every helicopter you see today, from medevacs to attack gunships, owes a debt to this spindly, buzzing little pioneer. If you like this content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Smart History for Dumb Times. And if you'd like to buy me a coffee, click the link in my bio. If you like this content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Smart History for Dumb Times.